Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Happy Sunday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. Hope you can celebrate accordingly. And I hope if you don't celebrate, you at least get a nice 3-day weekend. So welcome. I hope you have a cup of coffee and can settle in for some nice Star Wars building. Today we're working on the TIE Bomber. Good morning, Brad. How are you? I'm also going to be trying to do that's kind of loud. I'm going to try to do a time lapse while I'm streaming. So I may, if everything doesn't go, like if we don't get the whole thing done in the 2 hours, I'm going to keep building it. I won't pick it up at a later stream or something like that. But I also hope everybody got your catalog, your Lego catalog in the mail. Most of us probably already know everything that's out. So some of the Avatar sets I hadn't actually seen. Some of them actually look pretty cool, like this submarine, a lot of sand green, and some really cool canopy pieces. But for the most part, like the jazz club's in there, the Eiffel Tower, the new, or the old botanicals, the new ones aren't in there yet. But the Chinese New Year stuff is in there. So I'm waiting for the parade. I actually ordered the parade so I could get the brown or the purple space guy. So that's going to be cool. I did not get the money tree or the New Year display. All the money trees got some pumpkins on it. That'd be kind of cool. I didn't get any Minecraft. I mean, we all know about the Minecraft stuff. There's nothing really new Star Wars wise that you may not know about. That wasn't as part of the January 1st release. There's, of course, all the brick heads for the Lord of the Rings, which I got a couple of those. So, yeah, that's it. I think there's some Friends stuff that's actually kind of cool looking. They've got some animals and whatnot, so you can see. Good afternoon, Walter and Mariana. How's it going? Yeah, just for the Spaceman helmet and pack, so that's the only reason I got it. I'll probably resell the rest of it. There's going to be a lot of those on Bricklink coming up. That's a pretty good Moana Friends set. I like that print on that sail. Brick Pasta, how's it going? Good to see you. Something I need to do. Mariana's, or Walter's on here all the time, so we can do this. My channel. I have to kind of do this in the thing. Mute. Don't want to hear me twice. Can I not do that from here? Alright, Mariana's Bricks, you are now a moderator of this channel. You've been here enough. So yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. The tiger's been out forever. The rabbit's going to be the new big thing that everybody's going to be trying to get. I did not know about this octopus. That's a pretty cool set, actually. Sunken Treasure Mission. That's pretty cool looking. So yeah, catalog came out. I'm sure everybody already kind of knows about what's in everything. I'm excited to do the Monkey Kids set of the Yellow Tusk because I can turn it into a Tremor Tusk from Horizon. So there you go. So today's build is this. I know the camera angle's a little wonky. I can fix this without breaking everything completely. It's a little not straight. I had to raise the camera a bit so I could put my phone underneath it, so you're going to be able to see my Super Chub going on there, but yeah, so let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and hit record on my, I'm going to do time lapse like I said, so we'll see how this goes. I don't plan on editing it too much, but if I can get it down to a couple minutes, then oh, Butt Chop sent us over. Cool. Yeah, I try to catch up on the Morning Dads podcast thing But that's usually like right when I wake up and I'm getting breakfast, I'm getting ready to set up and stuff. So, oh good, this is only 4 bags. We should be able to do this in 2 hours. So, there's your instructions. I'm not gonna do those. I'm gonna open those, go in the stack of instructions. I run out of pieces for the microfibers. We start doing pieces we have around here. You need to start doing some Bricklink orders, my friend, or some Benlink orders. Realize the microphone was like really far away. Sorry. So let's see what else is going on. Beth and I celebrated 2 years of wedded bliss yesterday. The first anniversary was, of course, a giant wedding, or a giant renewal ceremony that was like a wedding, because our first wedding was a COVID wedding in our backyard with our family, and that was it. So this year, 2-year anniversary, we spent on a nice walk around the lake, and then we went and had dinner at a friend's house with a couple friends, and it was lovely. So there you go. Cape for, thank you, Brad, for Darth Vader. Another Darth Vader to add to the pile of Darth Vaders. Yeah, I have no idea how this there's going to be an extra one of these, isn't there? I have no idea how this time lapse is going to go, so we're just going to have to kind of play it by ear. Which Darth Vader head are we getting? Oh, we're getting a white one with kind of dark gold scarring. It's pretty cool. Working on the Ideas Lighthouse. First set. Oh, you got that. You got the... What was it, like $300 for a light brick? Wow, I'm super jealous. All right, so we have got... We don't have the pilot yet, but we've got Darth Vader and a Imperial Commander. There's your Darth Vader and Imperial Commander figures so far. Pretty cool. I like the badge on the Imperial Commander. It looks nice. The outline looks nice. So we'll put them right here. Come on, Vader. There we go. He's force choking somebody. All right, let's get started. This doesn't look like it's going to be that big of a set, so we'll rock and roll through this. So how's everybody's weekend going so far? What's up, Stud and Miss Bricks? How's it going? I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. It's cool they use metallic ink on Darth's face. Yeah. Ooh, tingly. Yeah, I do like the kind of metallic ink. Gives it a little bit more. It's at least a different look than we're used to. So it's pretty cool. If I had prepped this better, I would have had my microfighter TIE bomber out. How many pieces is this? 625. Okay, so the original TIE bomber from back in like 2000, 2001 was not all that. It was like 200 pieces. So, and my microfighter TIE bomber was 200. It was 201 pieces, and then microfighter was 200 pieces because I overdid it. So that was kind of funny because one was an actual set and the other was not. I don't know where this is going, but I really like the inside of this so far. I wanted to do more Horizon designs today, but again, we were out last night. Hey, Kodiak, how's it going? And didn't sleep well, so I'm just kind of like blah. I don't want to think too much. And I think doing those Horizon... I redid some of the Strider, though. I didn't like the way it was turning out. I didn't like the look of the legs. So I went back and redid a little bit of the legs. 1x5 in white. Yeah. God, we're finally getting some adequate TIE Bomber representation. You know it. And you know what? You know, another one we haven't had is the TIE Interceptor. Like, we had the UCS TIE Interceptor. I think that's it. So there's a lot of ships they could redo in Star Wars, but they're not going to, so that's fine. I was going to talk about something, and I done forgot. Oh, no news on the Lego Masters thing yet. I haven't gotten any more emails. They did send me an email asking for a better, like, headshot photo. And make sure to wear a shirt that popped, which is the third time they've asked me to wear a shirt that pops. And I was joking with Beth that I think they just want my shirts to be on the show. Like, they've asked about my shirts more than they've asked about things that I've built. So I'm pretty sure I'm actually trying out for a fashion show. I'm not sure yet. In which case, they're not going to want me. Because all I have is t-shirts. I don't know if you can see this t-shirt. This is a Will Heron t-shirt. It's very comfortable. I don't think you can get it on his site now, but you're able to get it if you see him at conventions. He usually has shirts like this. They're not Lego shirts. I don't think he can sell this one anymore because it's a torso. But it's a very comfortable shirt, and he does good work for interlocking brick shirts. I want them to do the TIE Defender again with the TIE Defender would be amazing. I mean, they could do a TIE prototype, a TIE advanced prototype. They literally could do they could redo all the TIE series because it's been a while since they've done anything but just a TIE fighter. So that would be nice. Okay. So did anyone pick up any January 10th stuff? I realize it's only been about 5 days, and I think I may have asked this on the last stream, but did anybody get your Chinese New Year stuff? Or the rabbit? I think the rabbit is a gift with purchase starting today. If you're in the store. Not sure how that works. I know a couple of local Austin people are gunning for that rabbit. And it looks cool. It looks kind of like the way they built Bowser, like it's got some chunkiness to it, which is pretty cool. Got a targeting computer tile. I have not seen this tile before. That's a pretty interesting tile. Yeah, the TIE Defender is always a big hit. I kind of want him to do a few more old school ships like, you know, the Assault Gunboat or the TIE Avenger. I think the TIE Avenger would be kind of cool, but those are like really obscure and they won't ever do those. Yeah. I've got a fan design microfighter version of it that just works, and I'm like, why would I'm not even going to try to redesign this on my own. It's perfect. Yeah, those tiles are pretty rad. Just little directional pad tiles. They'd be great for like little mini, that size, like Nintendo controllers or something. Alright, well, they think we're done with this. How is this attaching? Like that. Oh, there's two of them. There's two of those tiles. What? Did I miss the original thing where you put a tile on? I did. That's crazy. What's up, Butt Chop? How'd your stream go? I was explaining earlier, I feel bad sometimes because that's my getting ready for my own stream and breakfast time, so I'm always missing a lot of it. But trying to pop in more, check out everything. So the next Horizon machine that I'm going to be doing is going to be a shell walker, apparently, according to the desires of the community vote. So as soon as the Strider's done, I'll work on a shell walker. I kind of wanted to do them in order of like how she encountered them in the game, but I don't honestly remember past, like, we've already got a watcher as part of the set from the tall neck, so we don't need to do that. And then after that, I thought it was a sawtooth before a shell walker, but I think after that you're kind of exploring on your own. Let's see. Yeah, I looked at that, and I don't have a Brad. I don't have a VR rig to play it. It looks fine, but I don't know that there's any new story involved. I think it's just you kind of. It's a limited thing of you combating beasts in that world. Like, I don't think there's anything adding to the lore, but I may be wrong. But it does look kind of fun. Somebody had mentioned that it would be super cool if you... Oh, only one on that side. Okay. If, like, you were fighting some monsters and Aloy popped in and, like, helped you out for a second and then she left, like you're an NPC and she just was there for a hot second. That'd be kind of fun. And then you got to be you're the flame-haired outcast, the outlander, the hunter. You get to be that weirdo NPC. Yeah, I mean, having just spent $500 on the PS5, like, it might be a while till I get a VR rig for it, because I've got other things that I want to do in this next year, like travel and, you know, buy Lego. So... the last VR rig I bought specifically, actually I got it from a person in our neighborhood, and it didn't work really well, so I sent it back to PlayStation, and I think they just sent, like, I was like, I don't think it works really well, can you help me, you know, repair it? I was like, and I was totally upfront, I'm like, I bought this used, so it's not like I have a warranty or anything. I'm just letting you know. And they're like, no, you can go ahead and send it and we'll take a look. You'll be up for any of the repair costs. I'm like, no, I know. That's fine. And I think they just sent back a new rig. I'm like, you guys just sent me a new thing. That's pretty cool. So, but I got it for Squadrons. And I feel kind of bad about that because Squadrons wasn't... Like, it didn't last very long. I had about 2 weeks worth of interest, and then I kind of lost interest after that. You know what I'm realizing in the instructions? I don't know if you guys can see this. There's no red outlines around the pieces. Usually there's red outlines around the pieces, but not in this one. That's really interesting. And this is a new set. I wonder if they're, like, going back to, hey, you guys figure it out. We'll give you the pieces and go crazy. Interesting. Yeah, you can already tell how big this is going to be. So it's not going to be much bigger than, you know, like the Slave 1, the recent Slave 1 set. Slightly smaller scale, but swooshable, playable. Yeah, I don't know if it's a certain age thing that they're doing, but I find it very interesting. Yeah, it really did. Like, I was so excited for Squadrons as a old X-Wing TIE Fighter player. I was like, finally, you know, another space combat sim. And it looked cool, and the graphics looked cool, and there was an actual first-person story to go with it. And the first-person story was fine. It was enough to, like, kind of teach you how the game worked. But it was pretty thin. It was about the same level as Battlefront 2 first-person. And I really liked the way, like, the ships charged up, their shields and stuff, but there was, like, 4 maps, and it was the same battle over and over again. Like, you had to do the same things over and over again. So if you liked things like multiplayer games where you just go, like, capture the flag type of games, squad games, it was probably... You'd probably like it more, but I think I felt it was a little thin. But it was also like $40. It was, I mean, it was cheaper than most games, so I wasn't too put out by it. And just the replay value wasn't all that. What it made me want to do is go back and see if I could figure out how to what's the term I'm looking for, where you play an old system on a new system? Not mock, not meme, not... Oh, it's gonna kill me later. Anyway, to go figure out how to do that, like figure out how to get X-Wing TIE Fighter on my new computer. And even, like, I'm going to go buy a joystick and everything. Emulate. Thank you. I knew there was a M in there somewhere. Emulate. I guess technically it's not emulating if it's a PC game, but I'm sure there's a port for it somehow where it's like this could only run on Windows 98 or something. And, you're on Windows 10 or 11 now. I just liked the missions in the old X-Wing TIE Fighter. Like, they were kind of long and drawn out missions, and there were a lot of them. Some of my favorite ones were you're an A-Wing and you have to go scout out the containers, and if you get seen, you have to fight your way out. And most of the time, it was fun just to try to take down a Star Destroyer as an A-Wing. It could be done. It took you forever because you had to, like, hit and run, hit and fade a bunch of, you know, you just kind of dodge their turbo laser blasts and, you know, you could take it down. It would take you all day, but... We played FNV. I have to set the launcher to run in Windows. Yeah. But that's kind of my gold standard, and it's not even that great of a game. It's like the graphics aren't awesome. It's from the mid 90s. It's, you know, it's not a great game, but just I remember liking it so much. The playability was so good. You know, it was a big deal to discover they were researching TIE Defenders, or it was a big deal to finally be able to pilot a B-Wing, you know, that kind of stuff. What did I... Oh. That's why there was 2 up there. Okay. Back in the day, I took a Mac and Mini, an old arcade cabinet to run a Nintendo emulator. It was an arcade cabinet with every... Yeah, I think there's a few people I knew who did that, who built their own cabinets and stuff. When did that piece show up? Way back there, apparently. It's going to be, the end of this is going to be me going, huh? Well, that piece didn't show up in there. Really need to set aside the parts so I know which ones I'm working with, especially now. My boss had a giant, I think it was an emulator, he had a giant cabinet in his office too, and it was the same thing. He had found the cabinet somewhere and bought it like off somebody, and like put the emulator in his or inside the cabinet, and then had a bunch of games in it. Yep, that is true. You can at that. No. One more of these. One more of these. And then there was X-Wing Alliance, where you were that family. You were that smuggler. You weren't a smuggler family, but you were like a trader, an importer-exporter family, and you lived in an outpost. And the Empire was kind of knocking on your doorstep and accusing you of like stuff. So here's your extra pieces. Get an extra cool one of them cool tiles. Another Darth Vader face mask, which, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with a bunch of. I've got like 3 of these now. So this might not actually take that long. If we get done before noon, I'll do the microfighter, the Boba Fett starship microfighter. We all know colloquially as the Slave One. Yeah, I think that was the prize kind of for a while, is look at this cabinet I got. Remember when we used to play these games as kids? Now we can play it in my office. And 2. So we'll do 2. Yeah. Back when you needed to know code for web design, you needed to know code and have an artistic sense. That's just floating there, yes. It looks funny from that angle. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be, I'm not gonna like that joint at all. That's gonna be left open somehow. And it's gonna be ugly, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna comment on it. But we'll see. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Ooh, cool new piece-ish. I think I've got one in white already. That's like one of those pieces where it goes, oh, that's a really cool piece. And then everybody realized nobody asked for that piece. Can we please get an inverted clip? A stud, single stud with a clip on the bottom of it, please? Cool piece and all, but not what we wanted. Yeah, you can still use some HTML. like mailing campaign stuff. And the problem is you get people who know just enough about HTML not realizing they're breaking 9 other things by trying to shove an image somewhere it shouldn't go or whatever. But, you know, at least they're trying to help. 2. Yeah, this is going to be interesting what they do along here. Yeah, I do want more inverted parts. I think the next wave may be inverted parts, because we're doing a lot of snot stuff. So you got the bricks with the studs on the side. And that's been going on for 20, 30 years now. So I think it's time for a new mode. I think we need to start changing things up to be inverted so we can have more around. And they do some stuff like the models they've got where you're building around a cube. The stud's not on top just means you've got a cube that you're doing plates and stuff on, so you get it to be inverted, like the build overall. But I think having some smaller parts that are inverted would be great. Body's starting to take some shape there. Deconstructing the words tie bomber. Sounds like someone really hates ties. The tie bomber, what bombs at midnight? Zissou, how's it going? Anybody get that reference? The tie bomber, what bombs at midnight? Anybody? How's it going, Zissou? Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. A lot of these brackets, but you can kind of see what they're doing here. They've got a lot of these brackets on the side so they can do side builds, which I think is it's a great step from where we were 20 years ago. Even with Star Wars builds, some of those blocky Star Wars builds. It's a Tick reference. I think there was Batman Well and Deflator Mouse, and I forget what the lady's name is, but it was like the super team that was in the Tick. And one of the bad guys was the Mad Bomber, and his catchphrase was, "I'm the Mad Bomber, what bomb at midnight?" The Mad Bomber, what bomb at midnight? You know, it's just odd, like weird stuff. But what bombs at midnight? You can't fight justice with a macaroni duck. That was a weird cartoon / comic / whatever else was in that universe. Yeah, the comic was really weird, and I was excited when they first, because there's been 2 shows, I think. There was a animated and a live action. Oh man, this music is like way chill. Let's nope. Come on, can't you just... What is EDM? I don't know if this is going to be any better, but we'll see. I built so many web pages in Macromedia. They were so heavy and chunky and just thick with animation that didn't matter, but it was all over the place. It was Flash Macromedia, right? And yeah, I built a lot of web pages with that. You know, floating animated, big, bulbous links and menu buttons and things fading in and out of each other, and it was just crazy. And they would take forever to load. I didn't get good enough to do any games or anything with it, but... Alright, I need that one bracket. I can't... There it is. Okay. We used to sit there and just drool over some of those Macromedia sites, man. We're like, holy crap, that's the coolest thing I could, you know. And then everybody tried to do whatever they saw and repeat and emulate it, and just couldn't. I would have got to emulate on my own. Yeah, they had, it was Macromedia Flash and Macromedia, it was Dreamweaver? Or was Dreamweaver its own thing? Because there was like an integration piece, and then there was an animation piece, and then there was like a... I forget what the other one was, but yeah, they did a lot. That's something you don't see Lego do too often. You stick a jumper in a Technic hole back there. That's cool. Yeah, we're old. We're very old. This was back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. I was working as a fireworks. That was the other one. There it is. I was working at a day trading firm, and part of my job was reading news off a Bloomberg terminal, and then on the side I was doing web design, because I didn't figure that a newsreader job would last for that long or be in that much demand. So I was like, well, I got to do something else. So I was also playing a lot of StarCraft, so it's not like my priorities were all there. I don't think this is going to be a great time-lapse because I'm just not close enough to the camera, but I can't, I mean, unless I hold it up like that, I can't make this any lower. So, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe fine. Also just experimenting. Yeah, I didn't do a ton with fireworks, and I did some with Dreamweaver, mostly just like building the site, but then I did a lot in Flash. The problem is, yeah, you'd have to reference a different file from Flash to get anything to work. Like, Flash was just the animation. You couldn't put a lot of internal stuff in there. Time-lapse is just for fun, Brad. I realized I haven't done one in a while. So I thought, well, I'm already building it. Let's just do a time-lapse of it and see what happens. Just something to put on the site, put on YouTube for fun. Oh, man, I missed a whole... Was there 2 of those that needed to go in there? There was. All right, so backing up. Yeah, it did get annoying to design. I got used to saying, no, that can't be done with certain things because the company I worked for wouldn't, like, you could license a suite or you could buy individual software, and it was a day trading firm that was like throwing money at things, and they wouldn't license software. So it was like my copy of Flash. But that was it. So I was trying to design the entirety of things in Flash. God, I haven't thought about that in a while. Yeah, I wish I would have taken classes on that instead of the Series 7 test that I studied for that I failed miserably twice. I never studied for something so hard in my life, and I got like a 38%. It was dumb. It was so dumb. But it was one of those where I needed it to kind of advance in the company. Technically, legally, I couldn't be behind the desk without being a licensed broker. So they were kind of covering themselves by getting me to take it. But I'm like, whatever I'm studying is not on the test. Like, I get that you're developing concepts and stuff, and you should be able to apply them given the test or given the materials, but it felt like I went through the testing and the practice exams, and I did pretty well with the practice exams. And you only needed like a 70 something to pass. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's no problem. But then you get into the test center, and either the material was completely unfamiliar, or the question looked like it had 4 correct answers. It was one of those, like, you couldn't even rule anything out. You're like, no, that looks right. That looks right. Oh man, these all look right, you know. Yeah. Well, now that I know what I kind of wanted to do with my life at the ripe old age of 49, I kind of wish I'd taken like a toy design class or something somewhere instead of wasting my time with musical theater. But musical theater gave me a scholarship, so that's why I did it. I couldn't get a scholarship doing illustration or anything. Oh, ×2. Whoops. Yeah, when I applied for Lego, I was like, well, I've drawn comic books and I've designed my own sets now, and I do have some art. You know, I am an artist. But they're like, are you a toy engineer? Are you a industrial designer? A communications artist? No. Smile and nod. Okay, thank you. So. Yeah, I kind of wish I'd done industrial design or something. A few years ago, I was really up on wanting to go back to school to get like, I wanted, the things that always looked like they were fun to do were like the motion graphics in football games. Those looked like they were a lot of fun to do. And to be able to work on a team that made those would be kind of cool. So I was like, well, I'm going to aim for that, and then we'll see what happens. And I took like one semester of getting back into school as an adult. And I was like, no, I don't really want to do this now. Because I had to take Texas history and a bunch of ethics classes and stuff. I'm like, when are we going to get to the... I've transferred 90 credits. Why can't I just go into like the field that I want to be in? I know, they do hire AFOLs. They hired Boone. So Boone is like the Rob Liefeld story where he's just an AFOL and went on Lego Masters and then got picked up by the Lego group. So it's like, yep, just keep doing it. And honestly, if I never do anything but this, I'm still having a lot of fun doing this. So that's all it takes. I just like doing this. Having the free time to be able to like make my own models and then build and do whatever, that's fine. I feel very Jewish. This is fine. Interesting. Does that actually fit on there? Oh, interesting piece choice. Got the little roller skate and it's on a single pin, so it's not like super straight or anything. That's really interesting. I hated that job and I like sports. I spent 3 years on ESPN doing Sports Center. Man, I would have... Oh. Yeah, because, I mean, you kind of have to be on the fly for it. You have to be able to, like, put in stats and player bios and slow-mo and updated information and stuff. I was like, that's got to be, like, high intensity, but you're, like, kind of doing fun stuff, you know? That kind of seemed like a fun thing to do. ESPN was the only place I've ever seen with a midnight shift for designers. It was like a factory. Yeah. All worked at ESPN, so most of the students got internships. That makes sense. I do have a friend who's a graphic... Oh, man, I missed a couple. I have a friend who's a graphic designer. She's worked on a couple local campaigns for, like, breweries and stuff, so I'd love to pick her brain about her track and everything, getting to where she is. Right? Sisu? I feel like that too. I'm like, what's a job you haven't done? I was a shrimp boat captain for a while. That's coming together nice. That's, I'm not gonna lie, it's really a smooth looking build. It's very stable. I worry about models like this that are like a bit of like having like these big pontoon kind of things where in the past they would build them and then everything was connected by Technic pins and they would kind of shimmy a little bit and jiggle. So this feels really good. As long as I remember to put all the pieces in the right place, I keep missing steps. Oh, it's pretty windy out. I don't know if I want to go mow after this. I need to go mow my backyard because the dogs are like, I ain't pooping in here. Have you seen this grass? I'm like, I know, but it's been like 5 degrees outside and raining. When do you expect me to do that? All right, we got some stud shooters here, but they're the new stud shooters. They're the disc shooters. And I think maybe these will be all right in this sense, because it looks like they're kind of incorporating them a little bit more. So not having a ton of education, I didn't bounce around a lot because I did not have the right amount of, like, nobody was going to hire a music theater kid to do anything. Alright, so here's your extra pieces. That's all fine. All one stuff. Here we are so far. Ooh, that's a nice piece. Look at that piece. That's pretty slick. When you can't figure out how to make the piece do what you want, you just... you print something. That's very ballsy of them to, like, actually print a piece for a Star Wars set. Usually it's... I feel like Star Wars sometimes is like, we've got these pieces left over, and we're not going to introduce any new parts for it. So, All right, so what's everybody doing for the rest of the week? Everybody got tomorrow off? I should say anybody got tomorrow off? I feel like I asked that and nobody has tomorrow off, so. Got a new TIE pilot. Shouldn't be any different from the old TIE pilots. Cool. Yeah, I think you deserve it, Kodiak. You seem to work like 18-hour days, 9 days a week or something. So there's your face for your TIE pilot. He's angry because, I don't know, you'd think like if you were in the evil galactic empire, you wouldn't know that it was an evil galactic empire. You would just assume it was your job. Come on, focus, man. Why is it not focusing? There we go. Nothing on the back, really. I do like the TIE pilot helmets, though. Those are the best. Working tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow off. Building a shelf and doing lesson plans. Cool. Days off doesn't mean I'm resting. Yeah. I think tomorrow's going to be laundry and trying to fix my instruction shelf that fell apart and just general straighten up in here. Because the following weekend's a lug party, or a lug meeting, so I have to get ready for that. And I don't have anything built for that yet. Oh, we have a box with printed Imperial stuff on it. Can't really see, there's a logo. This is for it's got some Arabesh on it. I'm hoping the Arabesh spells gonk, because this is going to be your gonk droid. It's a pretty slick looking little gonk droid so far. Oh yeah, they're so great, Bunny and Grandma Badger. I love that she builds along. I love that they build together. But Grandma Badger is so funny. It's good. That's good wholesome viewing right there. All right, got your gonk droid. Where's the feet? Where's the feets? It's these little things, right? Yeah. Okay. I need to catch more of their streams too. Your gonk droid, and yeah, on the back I think that says gonk, or maybe it says power. It looks like it's 5 letters, so it's probably power. There you go, gonky. Somebody do the Arabesh on that. The translation for me, please. Speaking of creative agencies, I don't understand how LEGO can't find a decent technology agency. All their tech products fail epically. I think their stickers on the Gonk Mad Lad. Nope. They're printed. Those are printed. That's a printed box. So it's like the Amazon box or the whatever. So that's pretty cool. There's no sticker sheet in this. It's weird because I feel like it's not like the technology is bad. It's just like it's such a big company that they have an idea that if it came out right then, like if whoever's doing the RI on it is like, we have this idea, and if they implement it within 3 months, it'll hit and it'll be fire. But the problem is they have to go through so much like committee and test and promotion and all that kind of stuff that it's like a year and a half, and then the technology's dead by then. So they're introducing like this 1.5 to 2 year old technology, and everyone's like, we've moved on since then. They're like, but this is the next big thing in toys. It's like, no, it's not. Like, all the AR stuff was great, but it came out, like, way after AR was really... anybody was doing anything with it. So... And there's also the idea of, what are we going to do with this? And I don't think they've really hit on what they could do with a given technology. Yeah, how they wrap it up wrong. Completely agree. Instead of... what I feel like they're doing is, instead of thinking of a thing to do, they're like, it'd be cool if we could. What they do is they see the technology that's available and they say, we should make a thing out of this technology. Which I don't think is how you should do it. You should innovate. You know, you should... like Lucasfilm guys did, where they're like, well, we want to be able to do this, but nothing like this exists, so we're going to build all our own stuff to make it work like that. Which I think is probably one of the better stories in history. That whole ILM documentary was so great. But it basically was like, they didn't have anything in place. So they made their own stuff, but they were a small little film group, right? It was just a handful of people. Whereas Lego is like, we have to get board approval and we have to, you know... I mean, I work for a company that's 150 employees, but changing bylaws and getting approval and putting it in budgets and stuff like that, that takes such a long time. And we're just a small company. I can't imagine what the global toy company has to go through to get the same amount of stuff done. And I'm going to be OCD about this and make sure that it's straight. Okay. Cool. Yeah, they won't. And I don't think it's a matter of also not being able to or wanting to. I just think they just can't. I just think they're too big. Why? What is the IBM moving at the speed of business? It's like, well, business moves really slow. That's what it is. Wrestled so hard for 2 hours last night, resisting the urge to place an order for a Blacktron promo. I got one. That's all I need. I think a lot of people are upset that they couldn't get a Blacktron promo and the Bunny promo at the same time. Otherwise, they would have placed like a giant order for both. But Lego's not going to do that. They're not going to give you two promos at once. Sometimes an in-store thing will happen where the store itself will be like, if you're here, you get this thing too. I've seen that occasionally, but it's usually like a poly bag. It's not anything great. So I know some people are mocking this part, both in the making fun of and making their own sense of the word mocking. Because it's not... It doesn't look like what the TIE Bomber needs to be. So when you build this, keep this in mind. This isn't like a perfect representation of the front end of the TIE Bomber. It's fine. It's not swivelly. It sits on there pretty good. It doesn't come off. You know, it's fine. But that's... I know people have like rebuilt that to be a little more ship accurate. Oh, you got two Blacktrons. Nice. Very cool. That's part of the reason you quit Lego. So you actually worked for Lego? Can you, do you still have contacts there? Could you put in a good word for your old pal? Man, I know this guy in Austin. He's great. You'd be losing out by not hiring him. I don't know why you haven't hired him already. Oh no, there is a gap. Okay. So I should have aimed to get 2 Blacktron's because I think we're going to start doing a thing where we get our gift with purchases, and then we're going to do Secret Santa, not Secret Santa, but like White Elephant, and then you bring a gift with purchase to exchange. And the idea is if you've got multiples of a gift with purchase that you haven't opened yet, you can exchange them. Maybe you'll get something that you don't have. Maybe you'll just get something you already have. You never know. But a lot of people like open those and they just don't leave them lying around in boxes. So the Connecticut office, yeah. Cool. I think my t-shirts are all going to get on Lego Masters because they keep seeming to want to see what my shirts look like. I don't know if you guys were here earlier on. I was talking about that. We got an interview, a lugmate and I got an interview with Lego Masters, and I didn't want to submarine it too bad. Because I really didn't care if I got on the show or not. And I was more doing it because my friend wanted to try out. But at the same time, I'm like, man, if you get it and I'm on it, I'm going to be like, oh, okay. So if I don't get on it, I'm not going to be upset. I'd be more upset if he doesn't, but I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. Anyway, during the interview process, they were asking questions about, what it means to you to be on the show and all this stuff. And I said, okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never watched the show. I was like, I know it exists, and I've seen clips, and I've seen the builds, and I've seen the people who've been on it do other things like on Instagram and some interviews and stuff. I was like, but I've never watched a single episode. Like, sat down and watched it. I was like, so... but for a while, some of my high school friends thought that Boone Langston was me, right? And they would message me and say, I saw you on Lego Masters. And I said, no, you didn't. And so I'm like, so now I'd be able to, if I got on the show now, I could go back to all those people and go, now you've seen me on the show. But I kind of acted like I wasn't terribly excited to be part of it. And I felt kind of bad afterwards, but I'm like, I really don't. They also kept saying, wear a shirt, in all the photos, they asked me more about my shirts popping in photos than they asked me about what I built. So I was like, do you guys just want my clothing to be on the show? We can do that. I can just send you a box of my shirts and it can sit there and build a bridge or something. Am I crazy? I could have sworn you were on that show. Nope, not yet. And I also didn't want to say, you guys still have all my info, right? Like, I've already done this once. Do I need to do it all again? But I'm trying not to be a complete jerk about it. ×2? Ugh. I didn't see that to start. Could have been doing this whole time. Bummer. I mean, I should have known. There's 2 wings. If you want the juicy design stuff, Lego, you have to go to Denmark, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, that's the last position I applied for was product designer in Denmark. And, like, I had Beth convinced we were, that Denmark was going to be an okay place to move. And we were even looking for social work jobs for her and everything. And the joke being that Denmark doesn't have a need for social workers because they actually take care of their citizens. So it's a different type of social work.
I would move to Denmark right now to get away from the cedar and mold of Austin.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that, but
I'm over it.
The cedar has been really bad here in Austin, so everybody's got cedar fever and everybody's head hurts, and they're stuffy, and in a lot of cases you'll run a fever. Like the allergies are just really bad. And so Beth goes, I would move to Denmark now to get away from the cedar. Yeah. Or the cape in Doctor Strange. The cloak of whatever it is. I see the cloak chose you. Yeah, I'm not going to give up. I'll keep my eye out for design jobs, for product design jobs, but the older I get, the less likely it is that they'll hire a 50-year-old AFOL. 35-year-old AFOL, maybe, but not a 50-year-old AFOL. I'll just stick to doing my own stuff. I'm quite happy doing that. I mean, I've been applying, like, ever since I figured out that you could just apply to Lego. I've had applications in there for like 10 years. And I always look out for like the product design things, especially because there's all kinds of like technical jobs and things, and I'm like, I don't want to. I can do IT here, probably for more money. So no thanks. I want to be able to argue with people that my design doesn't need to be nerfed like you're doing. Like they're doing. No, take my design as is. Don't ruin it by taking away parts. And we need all these printed. And don't do any stickers. If you do stickers, I quit. Even after Lego Masters, they denied him. Can you imagine? No, you saw what I built on Lego Masters. Yeah, but, you know. We've got these guys from Utrecht that are straight out of college that we can hire for pennies on the dollar. No, I mean, and that's fine because I get that because industrial designers recognize the process, like the iterative process of doing stuff like that, where someone who doesn't may get frustrated, may not understand it, may not work well within the team if they don't understand that there's a process to do all that. And so not only you teaching them how to work within the company, but also within like the basics of design process. So you could stop here and do a drone. You could do a TIE drone. Right? You just build another group of wings straight out and do a TIE drone. So that's kind of fun. All right, last bag. We're way ahead of schedule. It does. And I'm sure there's some AFOLs who are like, no, I don't want to work for Lego. I would rather not, because maybe they have a great design job like you do on their own. Maybe they're running a business on their own. You know, they're doing a Lego flipping thing or a design commission design thing, and they make money doing it, and it's, you know, it's what they want to do. And Lego come a knocking and they go, no, you can't pay me enough to leave what I've got now. Times 2. Let's do this. It's just times 2. It's not times 4. I think they're focusing on AFOLs more, so they probably are like, we should hire the people who know what we're designing for. If we're designing for AFOLs, we should have some AFOLs in here. When it was just, we're just churning out toys for kids, it really didn't matter who they were hiring. They couldn't hire kids, so you get industrial toy designers or people with design degrees or, you know, stuff like that, which makes sense. Now it's like, we may need a few more challenging builds, or we need some new ideas, so let's get the people in here who have been building with this the whole time and know a bit about the culture. that kind of thing. More ears to the ground kind of thing. Oh, I bet, yeah. But there's also I guess for a little while there's the challenge of I've been given this task and it's actually within a medium that I like versus at least being given a task and say having to, you know, I have to come up with some product or project management overhaul of some piece of software, and it's like I could give two craps about it, but it's my job. So